Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a get ready with me and I'm going to be playing in a lot of new products. I am finally going to be putting to the test the Milk Makeup Flex Stick. I have some beautiful brushes from BK Beauty. I have two new concealers, one from Estee Lauder and then CoverGirl. I'm trying out the new Fenty Brow. I have some Tom Ford. I have STILAZZI. I have just a ton of things here. So if you want to see how I created this look, just keep watching. I'm showing you guys one brow just really quickly. I already have my brow gel in, it is set up and everything, and I'm going in with the Fenty Beauty new Brow MVP in the shade Ash Brown. I don't use a lot of this. I like to kind of put it at the bottom and then feather it up. After that, I go underneath and I clean up with my eye primer, which is the Anastasia eye primer. Now let's go on to the face. For foundation, I'm going to go in with the Milk Flex Stick in the shade Light Beige. I found that I don't like to actually swipe stick foundations on my face. I prefer to put it onto my sponge and then tap it into my skin. So that is what I'm going to do. And this is just a very big Sonia Kashuk sponge. I feel like doing this helps with any kind of dragging that could happen with spreading the makeup out. Instead of having to take something that's already placed on your skin and having to move it, this helps to just kind of press it in like you would a normal liquid foundation. I also feel like I don't end up with too much product on my face either. I have two different concealers to try out. One is from CoverGirl. This is the new TRUBBLEND Undercover Concealer, and I have the shade Classic Ivory. I'm going to apply this on my right side, the freckle side. And it does have like that really big doe foot, kind of like the Tarte Shape Tape. And then I also have this one from Estee Lauder. This is the Double Wear Radiant Concealer in the shade 2N. It's a light medium neutral. And this also has a big doe foot. Are they the same? Let me see. This one I have tried out a few times before, but the CoverGirl one I have not. So yeah, they're almost identical in size. Even though the Estee Lauder one is supposed to be neutral, it is definitely yellow. I mean, look at the difference between the two. Like, it's yellow. Like I said, I've never used the one from CoverGirl. I've heard really great things about it, so I'm hoping it works out really well. Blends out well. The color is good for me. I will say when I was swatching it on my hand, I could tell that as it dried down, it did deepen up just a little bit, which probably because it's more on the matte side. Different concealer, so I'm going to use a different sponge. I'm not sure if you guys can see it on camera or not, but I can definitely tell in person that this side is more of like a satin matte and this one is definitely more radiant, but I do feel like I'm getting more coverage out of the CoverGirl. Now, I don't want to use a new powder to set either one of these because then you don't know if it's the powder or the concealer that you like or dislike. So I'm going to go on with my usual Huda Beauty in the shade Pound Cake. I almost said Huda Beauty. Okay. I need coffee. Huda Beauty Pound Cake. Like, I'm about to eat a cake right here. Huda Beauty. That's a new one for me. I'm just going to smooth this out. And then we'll go ahead and I like to start down below the eye because I like to bake this area. And then after I get that applied, I take the excess upward. So I make sure and set underneath my eye, but I don't want as much powder there. I am almost out of this one, so I'm like having to really try and get it out. I'm also going to bake my nose per usual, as well as my chin. I'm finally going to show you guys me using the BK Beauty brushes, and I am going to use the 102 to set my face. I'm going to go in with my Chanel loose powder. I use the shade number 30. I'm just going to tap this all over. I'm scared I'm going to get my white feathers dirty. Keep them away. This brush is so soft. I'm going to use my Wayne Goss number 2 to really get off that bake. I like to kind of go like this right here to make sure that I don't have any sitting powder in my pores. I've wiped off the foundation from my lips, and now I'm going to go in with my Tatcha Camilla lip balm. Before I finish off the face with bronzer, highlight, and blush, I'm going to go ahead and do my eyes, and I'm going to use the STILAZZI Dark Room Palette. BK Beauty 203 in the shade Solar. I am going to pack this all over the lid first. I'm going to show you guys basically what I have been doing with my matte shadows recently. You've seen several just like smoky eyes, and this is the technique that I use to do it. So you can use whatever colors you want, but this is the technique. Starting off with the lightest shade I want to use, which is, for this look, Solar. Packing it all over, all the way up to the crease. And you can be messy with this because we're going to go all the way up as well, but I'm going to get a blending brush for that. I'm using the same brush, and I'm just taking that shade right along the lower lash line. I applied it to the tip of the brush instead. Again, still using the same shade, but now I'm using a BK Beauty 201, and I am putting this into the crease and then upward as like where the transition area is. Really want to blow this shade out. So I'm going all the way into this inner portion right here, and almost like basically all the way up to the brow, making sure I also get it on this outer portion right here. Hello? What are you doing? Makeup. There's a surprise. They are safe. They are in a shelter. Oh, good. It's like a damn hotel. Oh, that makes me feel so much better because I was really worried about them. How long are they expected to be there? They don't know. I'll listen to it. They're talking about 2 or 3 days. This crap. Yeah, I guess it's the second best thing to them listening to me go pick them up. Yes, well, there you go. They are fine. Okay, well, thank you for letting me know. Now I'm going to go in with a smaller 202 and the shade Poolside. I'm going to start on the outer corner with this and then blend up into the crease area. Now, that was my dad that just called. I have been so worried about my grandparents. And to everybody that is dealing with this storm, I am thinking about you. It gives me the chills. My grandparents are very stubborn, and they would not allow me to go pick them up. They wanted to stay down there. Well, they were trying to find a hotel, and that didn't go over well. I think they waited a little too late. But they live right on the beach. Not like on it, but very close to the beach. And I've just been a wreck worrying about them. And to know that they finally have somewhere to go makes me feel better. So I want to let you guys know, like, I'm thinking of everybody who is either in this or has family, friends, anybody. Just I'm thinking of you. I know that this is a scary situation. I have no words. I stumble on words when this kind of stuff happens. And yeah, I called my dad freaking out. I was like, I can drive down there right now. I have the SUV. This was a few days ago, especially a few days ago now when this video goes up. And they're just like, no. Oh, stubborn. Anyway, I'm basically just taking this into the crease, outer corner, bringing it upward, but I'm not going to take it to the inner portion of the eye. I want that last color that we lay down to be able to show through. I love, like, this blend of colors right here is stunning. Same shade in a BK Beauty 204. I'm just taking this right along the lash line. The lower lash line, that is. Same brush in the shade Double Tap. Again, outer corner. and then into the crease area. Kind of tapping this right about halfway over and then blending it up on this outer portion. Just kind of smoking it out just slightly. And we're using light color, so it's not going to be really dramatic. But I think you can see the difference between this eye and this eye. Back in with the 204. Again, I am taking this right along the lower lash line. Nothing new. BK Beauty 205 in Asylum. I am going to place this on the very, very outermost portion of the eye and then bring it up into the crease. It's going to be kind of like a little V. Then I'm going to start pushing it upward. The 204 brush again and back in with Asylum. I want to take this on the very outer corner and connecting it to the top. BK Beauty 203 and Dark Horse. I'm tapping this just on the outer corner for a little bit of extra dimension or depth right back here. I'm going to be bronzing my face using the BK Beauty 103 and one of my typical go-to bronzers. This is the JOUER Light Medium Duo. Yeah, this is the second one that I am about to go through. I just go in both of them and I am going to bronze up my face. I love this bronzer. I clearly, because like I said, this is the second one. I just need to go ahead and reorder it. And this brush is so soft. All of the brushes are really soft and they apply to things very well. Like they blend out and they just don't add too much all at once. It's nice. Seriously, I just do this back and forth. Now I'm going to go in with a blush from NABLA Cosmetics. NABLA is now available at Ulta, which is really nice. They have sent me ones before, like this little casing, but you can pop them out. See, I've taken it out, but they sent over other shades as well, and I kind of put them all in this NABLA palette, and I'm going to take this shade right here, which is called KENDRA, on a BK Beauty 104. To highlight my face, I'm going to go in with the Milk Flex Highlighter in the shade Lit and a Linda Hallberg 306. Take it on my forehead. Working this into my skin. I'm going to go back in with my blush brush. Just going to soften it up a little bit. Before I go in and buff, I'm going to use my gold, some kind of gold mist from GUERALIN, and I've already talked about how I don't like this. So hopefully, like I'm going to tell you right now, I like my makeup so far. We'll see what happens. SISLEY powder 102, and I'm going to buff. I feel like I have to buff a little bit more right here because that spray, it just emphasizes weird dry spots. I don't know. It's like it makes me glowy and accentuates dryness at the same time. Like I liked this foundation more before I used that spray. But I told you guys I would use it in my favorites and fails, so I was like, I have to use it. Now for the center part of my face, I'm taking my HYDRA powder from by Terry and my Sonia G, what brush is this? A Detail Pro. And I'm just taking a tiny bit of that powder. I know you see it like go everywhere. That's because it's so finely milled. This is gonna help blur out the edges of the highlight, blur my pores, not add texture. It's so beautiful. For my mascara, I'm going to use a new one from Laura Mercier, and this is the Caviar Volume. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys in, and I'm going to start this and I'm going to finish it off camera. Mascara is finished, then I went ahead and lined my lips as well with my SISLEY Nude Liner, outlined and then filled them about halfway in. And now we're going to try out a new gloss from Tom Ford, and this is the Gloss Luxe in the shade 09 Aura, or Aura? I don't know. This thing is huge. When you compare this to like their previous ones, this is much more hefty, much more luxurious feeling. And on the side, it looks like this, and then you can see the color through the front and the back. And then the applicator looks like this, one of those little triangular applicators. I'm just going to pop this right over top of it. It smells so good. That finishes off the look. Now I'm going to go through each of the products and tell you how I feel about them. Some of them are first impressions, while others are things that I've been using and kind of testing out. The first being the brow product from Fenty Beauty. What is this called? The Brow MVP. I have been testing these out, so I definitely know how I feel about them. I have two shades because I wasn't sure whenever I purchased which one to get. I have the light brown, which is right here, and then ash brown. Ash brown is the one that I have in my brows right now, and I really like it because it's very cool toned. I feel like it matches my brows without being too dark, so it doesn't make them look like they're too intense. But then the light brown reminds me of soft brown from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Let me put that. It's just a little bit darker than soft brown from Anastasia Beverly Hills. When I saw this product come out, I immediately thought of the NYX product that I had tried. This is called the Fill and Fluff. The reason why I thought about it was because of the end. So the end of the Fenty brow is this little brush right here. This brush reminded me of the brush on, I mean, they're almost exactly the same. Okay, I'm gonna hold these up side by side. So you can see NYX and then the Fenty, yeah. This one is much softer than what the Fenty one is. So I feel like the Fenty one definitely will push around the product a little bit more, but the pencils are different too. So the pencil on the NYX one is kind of like the brow definer. It has that triangular kind of tip to it, and it's more of like almost like a pomade type of feel. It's softer and it definitely moves around with this brush really nicely. This one is definitely more of a traditional brow pencil, and I think that the stiffness of this brush helps move it, whereas if it was as soft as the NYX one, I think it wouldn't move it at all. So they're definitely different products, but I would say that the brush is very similar, with the exception of the NYX one being softer, but they're definitely two different products. And I do like this. At first I was a little unsure about it, and I was like, the brush is a little bit scratchy, but then it moved the product around how I needed to. So I am happy with that. Moving on to the foundation. This is the Milk Flex Stick. And again, the shade I am wearing is light beige. I like the way this goes onto the skin. I feel like I got a nice medium coverage. I definitely like it applied better with a sponge than a brush because I am combo. I have spots where I can get a little bit dry, and I feel like I tried this one just randomly one night and I used a brush just to see, because like I said, typically I don't like to use brushes with stick foundations. It has to be way more creamy, more emollient than this. With the sponge and how I applied it, I think it looks really nice. I got medium coverage, satin finish. I'm just gonna have to test out the longevity, so I will let you guys know about that. But so far, so good. I feel like it looks nice on my skin. And then for the concealers, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys a close-up. So on the freckle side, I have the COVERGIRL TRUBBLEND Undercover in the shade Classic Ivory. And then on my left eye, I have the Estee Lauder Double Wear Radiant Concealer in the shade 2N. I definitely prefer the CoverGirl side. I have issues with this one. I've tried it out several times and it kind of goes back and forth. Some days it looks good, some days it does not. Today I'm like, it's a middle ground kind of thing. I definitely think that my Becca Under Eye Anti-Fatigue Primer helps this. I don't have that on today, but I do think it helps this. However, I don't know, sometimes I have issues with this type of consistency. It's kind of thin and it doesn't smooth out as much. Like, I love my Giorgio Armani one. It's thinner, but it smooths out the skin, whereas this one is a little bit back and forth for me. It can kind of make me look a little bit crepey and then it looks good on other days. So if I was going to choose just based off today, I would go with this one. I know this one is inconsistent. This one is one that I'm going to have to continuously try as well. But today, this one definitely takes the cake. For the blush, I have used NABLA blushes before, so I already know that I like them. But just speaking of this color in general, KENDRA, I like it on my skin. I think it looks really beautiful. And that brings me to the BK Beauty brushes. I love these. I think that Lisa did such a great job with these. These were in my favorites. You guys didn't see me use this brush, which is the 101. This brush reminds me of the Marc Jacobs Face 2 foundation brush, and it's really, really nice. I used it with my Soleil Tan de Chanel in one of my videos, and it worked out beautifully. All of these brushes perform very well and they are for a good cause. With every purchase, a donation is made to anti-bullying efforts and inspiring kindness in our futures. Check them out. I will leave Lisa's video down below. When you go to check out the brushes video, make sure you check her out as well because she is a complete sweetheart. For the highlighter, the Milk Makeup Flex Highlighter in the shade Lit. This is beautiful. I do have to say that the top layer had a little bit of glitter in there, but it's one of those that whenever you go over the top, it's way smoother. It's really, really beautiful. Just, I would suggest taking your finger to the top because at first I was like, whoa, what is that? But then as I started to buff it into the skin, I could tell that it was just the top layer. So this is really gorgeous. I like that. I'm thinking, what next? Eyes. The STILAZZI Dark Room Palette. This is something I have used several times. I haven't gotten to use every single shade in here, but I can tell you that so far, so good. I didn't want to go just like completely colorful today because I feel like I've done so many colorful looks that I just kind of wanted to tone it down a little bit. I like this palette and these shimmers. Let me just show you a few of these. There's some of the shimmers right there. The Lauder Mercier Caviar Volume Mascara. I'm liking this so far. Like, this might be a purchase for me. This was like a deluxe sample or something, but I like this. I feel like it doesn't give me as much volume as I was anticipating. Like the Pat McGrath Labs, the CoverGirl Exhibitionist, and then Lancome Monsieur Big, all of those give me more volume, but I feel like this gives me a nice amount of volume. It's not clumpy or anything like that, and I think it gives me a nice bit of separation and length. So far, so good with this. The GUERALIN Mist, yep, still not enjoying this. I have given this so many tries, you guys. It was in my favorites and fails as a fail for August. I don't know what it is. I spray it and I feel like I can get a lot of luminosity in some places, but then it finds any dry spot, even slightly dry, and really exaggerates it. I felt like on my cheeks, even though I don't think I'm particularly dry on those areas right now, I feel like it made this part of my skin just look really dry, and I really had to go through and really try to buff on those areas and put the powder back over top of it and make it look better, because I don't know what it is. Something about this just, it looks really great in some areas and then it looks really terrible where I tend to get a little bit more dry. It just makes it so emphasized. I haven't been happy with this and I'm still not happy with this. Last but not least, the new Tom Ford Gloss. This is beautiful. I am not going to lie. I like the color. I like the formula. I like the way it feels on my lips. I like this. I really like the packaging. It just feels very luxe. If you're a high-end lover, grab it. It's stunning. But if you want something that's a little less expensive, still high-end, but a little less expensive, the Hourglass, I don't remember, Unreal something. Those are really nice as well. But I do like this gloss. It's really pretty. Anywho, that is it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you did by giving a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.